Life is crazy here on planet Earth because everything that we want, the second that we want it, it truly is given. It's just given in a vibrational form, and your inner being becomes it. The second that you want to be a millionaire, the second that you feel like, damn, I wish I just had more money to buy this, that, a new iPhone, your inner being automatically becomes that version of you. And so your inner being, it lives in your vortex, it stays in your vortex, and it holds all the components for you. Well, it doesn't hold the components, but it's there where all your desires are, and it's calling you, it's broadcasting that signal to you. It's like, okay, and within that signal is all the instructions on how to get everything that you want. And so it calls you because it knows where you are and knows how to take you there. And so it's calling you. And do you know what resistance is? Resistance is when you ignore that call. Resistance is because resistance is the only reason why there ever is a resistance in the equation is because your inner being saying, we have it, we see it, and you're saying, well, I don't see it. Your inner being saying, I'm rich, and you're saying, well, I'm not rich. Your inner being saying, we wrote a book, and you're saying, well, I haven't even started writing a book. Your inner being saying, we're rich, and you're saying, you're not rich. You're saying, I don't see it. Your inner being is like, well, we see it. Because when you feel negative emotion about the absence of what you want, that's because your inner being is telling you through that negative emotion, nope, that's not how we see it. What's the opposite of that negative emotion? What's a positive emotion? What's on the other side of that stick? Reach for it. Try to see what's there, try to feel what's there, because you can't see it yet. So your inner being's telling you, your inner being's literally telling you, well, you're a millionaire, you're a billionaire, you are. Your inner being's saying, well, I can see it, and you're saying, well, I can't see it. And that tug of war, that's what resistance is. And so when are you gonna give in to who you really are? When are you going to give into your desires? Give into your desires. You know what's so crazy is that so many people die, and all death is not a real thing because it's all just, it's just a departure into back to who we really are, the non-resistant. It's just like a leaving this world and going into like another movie. It's just a reemergence. That's the perfect word. It's a reemergence into who we really are. And it's crazy because all throughout life, everyone's life, they're just fighting this current. They're fighting who they really are. They're like, yeah, I don't see it. My life is not that great. Like, I'm not rich, I'm not anything. All the while, their negative emotion, that stream is getting faster and faster and faster. So then they start to develop illnesses, they start to develop problems, and they just have all of these issues. And it's because they're not. And so finally, the path of least resistance is that because through their life, and their patterns of thought, they have developed so much resistance. So they literally, the only path of least resistance is for them to go back into that one fell swoop into who they really are, to reemerge back into their non-physical self, because there's too much resistance on the trail. And that catching up with who you really are, when you reemerge back into your non-physical self, when you leave this body, you become everything that life has ever made you want. So you become the writer, you become the billionaire, you become everything in that one fell swoop, because you leave behind all resistance. Remember, resistance is you're seeing one thing and your inner being is seeing one thing. We're saying, why don't you see the same thing as your inner being? Because your inner being is at a high frequency. Your inner being is literally saying you're a billionaire, and you're saying, well, how can I be a billionaire? I don't see any evidence of that. And your inner being saying, well, it's a vibrational first, but listen to us, listen to what feels good, because what feels good is right. Because because everything that you want, it's just a vibrational gap. It's not really a physical gap. It's a vibrational gap because it's all frequency. So it's a channel gap, meaning you don't create it, you tune into it. You don't look for it, you go where it is. You don't find it, you go where it is. You feel for it, you don't look for it, you feel for it, because it's not here right now. Because your definition of what's considered here and your inner being's definition of what's considered here is either they're on the same level, or they're mismatched, which is what resistance is, which is what negative emotion is. So we're saying, our whole thing is, why would you ever think a thought that doesn't feel good? Because you want to feel real, you want to be real, you want to appeal to the masses. You want people to because you would look crazy like saying, I'm a billionaire, I'm not poor. Because when someone comes up to you and they're like, hey, like, your life is like so and so, and you're like, you feel like that internal, like, you just want to throw a fit because you want to prove to this person, that's not who I am. I'm a rich person. This is not what happens to me, because that's who you really are. Because that's it's funny, that's actually who you are, but who you are is not available in this moment because you can't see any evidence of it. And it's really just about using this guidance system of being like, your guidance system is like, well, tell me about money. I don't have money. You're being saying, well, you do have money, and you're like, oh yeah, I do have money. I have money. I have a lot of money. And then that anticipation can start to build, because that when you start to go with your inner being, when you're like, inner being, through negative emotion, I understood, because I realized that I'm just so over feeling bad. I need to feel good. So in my feeling good, I'm catching up with who I really am. And I understood that when I feel good, I have to give into you. I have to give into who I've become. I have to start pushing against it. And the first thing I do that I really push against everything that I want, the one thing that pushes against my stream and the energy, is by saying that it's not already here, because that's not true. It's just not in the form that I want. So it's in the form of an emotion right now. It's in the form of a vibrational version. So it's on a channel, and I can go there. And you know what's really interesting is that the reason why the vibrational version is not enough, the reason why you feel anticipation, but then there's that little bit of impatience because you feel like you're on the brink of something. You're like, yes, I'm on the brink of something. My life is going to change overnight. But then there's that piece of impatience because you're still looking for everything. You're looking down the road. Your manifestations are still down the road. Everything is down the road. Even in your daydreams, everything is future tense, because as a human, you understand the physical gap as being like, well, I don't have money right now, but in the future I will have money. But we're like, vibrationally speaking, you do have money in this moment. You just can't see it. You have to nurture your desires. You have to nurture these frequencies because they're very young. The frequency of all the momentum of them is really young because what you can see right now, those are vibrations those were things that were once vibrations, but due to your attention to them, due to your attention to them, and due to your uncontradicted energy, your pure energy, even about things that you don't want, those vibrations were able to gather enough momentum where they could get so powerful and fast that they manifested into physical objects. So your desires right now are in this place of slow. They're not slow, but there's not a lot of momentum. It's slow. It's general. It's this emotional thing. It's an emotional game. We're saying you have to get in there. You have to be okay with the emotional version, and we understand it because it's boring. It's not fast. But you know what's really fun? When you're like, you know what, I am a billionaire, and then you start to, and then it starts to pick up, and you're like, yeah, I'm a billionaire, and I love being a billionaire. Being a billionaire is so amazing because now you're blending. Now you're telling the universe who you are because you have to tell that story. And your inner being is literally helping you out. Your inner being is saying, yeah, because your inner being is radiating your desires. Your inner being is literally radiating everything because your inner being can't think for you. Your inner being can only offer the thought and know it so clearly that it broadcasts a signal. And through your emotions, you find your inner being's, opinion, because you use you literally use the guidance of your emotions. That's what your emotions are for. When you feel negative, when you're looking at your YouTube channel and you don't see the views that you want, you don't see the action that you want, that's your inner being saying, no, we see it. That's not true because we live in the vibrational reality. We're living in the forward motion. So to us, all your desires are current reality. And the fact that you can't see it right now, that's, what's funny, that's everyone's hang up. Well, I can't see it. So then they start to see their desires as future tense, but where your desire is real, it's now, it's right now. But that's why you have to use your emotion, because your emotion is the only thing that will tell you about the truth, the progress of your desire. Because it is on its way, yes, but it's not on its way in the physical sense. It's on its way as in, like, all you have to do is get into vibrational harmony, because the timing of your desires, that how long your desire takes, is all about your ability to pretty much give into your inner being. Be like, you know what, tell that new story. You have to tell that new story. You have to tell it, because what your vibration, what your manifestation, what you're getting, basically what your life looks like, is just a result of what vibrations, what side of the stick on each subject that you're attuned to. So for example, if you're experiencing less than the money that you want, it's because you're on the realist side of the money stick. You're on the absent side of the money stick, but you want to move that to the presence. You have to tell how you want to be, and that really takes on a completely different form when you understand that what you want is literally real. It's a real reality that you can measure, because your emotional guidance system is a real thing. It is. And when you feel negative emotion, it's because your inner being is literally, your infinite intelligence is literally telling you. Your inner being is telling you. And you remember, your inner being is pure positive energy. Your inner being can see your life. You can see the broad view of your entire life. It can talk to other people's inner being. You can talk to all the other inner beings out there. They all get together and they're like, yo, this person's writing a book. You want this book? You want this book? And they can link everyone up together so well, because everyone's inner beings, because this is a pure positive energy, well-being planet. Everything that you want is ready for you, but you have to be the one that's perceiving it, because everything that you see right now was once a vibration, but since there is a perceiver, there's no creation without a perceiver of the vibration that can translate that vibration into something tangible. So we're saying your desires right now are in this place where they're not tangible yet, but they can still net you satisfaction, because you know what? Because the other side of that is feeling negative emotion, is feeling that's not here. And you know what, friends? If your desire is not here, if you're like, yeah, it's gonna be so nice to have it one day, it's coming, I can feel it, when that's your conversation, it's not coming. It's gonna take forever. It's gonna take all of eternity. And you know what's really cool about all that, though, is that no matter what, when you re-emerge back into your non-physical self, you're gonna get everything that you want now, but you don't have to wait until you're not in this body anymore, because don't you love your perspective? And also, it takes mad time to get another body, so you don't have to do that, because you can have it now, but you just have to be willing to. It's like faith, but it's faith on crack, because instead of it being a pipe dream, it's truly there. It's something that you can measure. It's tangible. It's logical. It's scientific. It's momentum. It's the law of attraction. It's the law of the universe. According to the law of the attraction, your very exposure to the life that caused you to ask that vibration, basically because everything is a frequency, because you felt the absence of that, then now, because of the absence, now because of this relational experience, you can now know what the presence feels like. That's why we say contrast is so clutch, because if you don't know, how do you know what $1 billion feels like when you don't know what the absence of $1 billion feels like. So it really is that sort of relational experience. And all that's to say, like, you literally have these emotions that are literally telling what to do. So why is everyone tripping out? Why are humans as a species, why is everyone tripping out so much? Because you have guidance. You can never say that you're lost. You can never, because we would agree with telling you that your reality right now, where you are right now, is current reality. But it's not the current reality that you're used to seeing, because your inner being literally is reading a signal. Your inner being saying, well, we're a billionaire. So if you want to be a billionaire, you have to link up with us, because we're not coming to you, because we're staying on a high frequency. We're doing what we came here to do. We're keeping our promise to you. We're going to know exactly what you want and how to get you there. And we're going to keep our eye on the prize while you either do that or you don't, because we're not going to get tired. But if you want to feel, but you know what's interesting? If you want to feel good, then you're going to go up to the high flying frequency. So it really comes back to caring about how you feel, because your emotions are literally telling you what you have and what you don't have. So that's why everything can turn around so fast. Because imagine if you're saying, I'm a billionaire, and you're steadily going in the direction of being like, I'm a billionaire. Guess what's gonna happen? Law of attraction is gonna be like, this person's a billionaire. So where's it? Here's your billions. Because it's just about harmony. It's about harmony. It's about harmony. It's like literally finding. It's like you're finding the radio channel, and then what's on the radio channel, you can hear the song. That's what it is. You're tuning into the frequency of that has what you want on it. But the only way that you can do that is you have to begin perceiving it. You have to begin practicing that frequency until it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And anticipation is like that, because when you anticipate something, it's because you're enjoying it right now. You're enjoying the frequency of it. But we don't want you to develop impatience. We don't want you to be like, I'm on the brink of something, but it's been taking so damn long. Where the hell is it? I feel like I'm on the brink for 20 years. Where is everything that I want? And the real understanding of that is because you're still seeing, you're still waiting. You're anticipating, but you're still waiting. There's that impatience within you. But you don't need impatience, because you don't need impatience. Impatience is you don't need patience when you're expecting. It's about expectation, because then logically you understand, well, maybe I should be doing something different. But it's not about doing something different. Truly, it's just about putting your expectation in a different spot, because what you want is real reality. But what do we mean by that? What do we mean by having something? Because this is interesting. By humans, by the physical standard, when it means to have something, it means that it's sitting, in your garage, it's on your desk, it's in your hand, you can physically hold it. But according to your inner being, what it means to have something is when it means to have something, literally is the vibrational version. It has something, it has a feeling of it. That's what we say, like, when the success that you're looking for is the success of the conjuring of the positive emotion without the condition. Because when you can conjure the emotion of your desire, then not only did you accomplish the feeling good and the basketball, what's like the touchdown, but you also the details start to fill in, because the emotions are the general platform. So when we see that when you're in your day and you're like, damn, I want money, I don't have money, and you feel the negative emotion, because maybe it feels like frustration, maybe it feels like, damn, like it's just annoyance, that's because your inner being is saying, nope, we have it. Because friends, this stream is so fast. Source energy has summoned so much on you, because it's the desires that you really care about that are the easiest and the fastest that will come to you, because there are so much source energy and life force that's already summoned on your behalf for all the subjects. And your inner being, you can't run away from your desires, because the second that you go into the receiving mode, you catch a whiff of those desires. It's like you get reminded all over again of all the things that are not working for you. But from your high flying place, basically by choosing the easiest stick, the easiest subject to think about, now you have access to all the stuff. Now you have access to all the present side of all the sticks. And so life gets easier in that sense, because you don't really have to do that much work. It's just about tuning. It's about tuning to the high frequency. And then from your high frequency, you're telling the story the way that you and your inner being are sharing the same expectation. Because friends, your emotions are literally telling you that you have it. So you have it. You have it right now. You're not having tomorrow. You're not going to have it down the line. You're not going to wait for it, because we know humans do. They're so used to seeing something as a physical journey that they see everything. They see the results at the end of the journey. So during that entire journey, they're waiting for the results. But we're saying you're the one. So it's like, does that mean that you're not cursed, but are you just bound by reality no matter how much you know about law of attraction? Does that mean that you're playing the same game? It's like, we all have to suffer the pain of the journey of the results. No one can truly know what's going to happen before it happens. We're saying yes, you can, but see, that's the thing about feeling you're on the brink of something, is that impatience is what doesn't let it come in. But when you're you can, because when there's no patience and there's only pure expectation, meaning you're like, I already have it and I love it, it's so easy, it's so fun, so you're not looking for, there's no absence, it has to come to you, and then you start to, and then it comes so fast, we're going to say defies gravity, but it defies your logic. And you can, it's funny, you can actually, you can have instant manifestation. You can tell it exactly the way you want it, and the universe can give it exactly to you. That's what it's all meant for. And it's all for finding games, and it's all really fun, but it's really potent. It really is potent, because it's high flying. your emotions literally tell you what's good. So you have to listen to your emotions. You at this stage of the game, do you understand? Do you believe your eyes more, or do you believe your emotions more? Because your emotions are ancient and they're sophisticated, because your eyes can only see what's been manifested, but your emotions can see so much more. Through your emotions, you can literally feel what you're on the brink of. That's the thing. That's why it feels like you're on the brink of something, because you can feel it with your emotions. So you're like, oh, it's coming. But we're saying no, just stay satisfied in that understanding and that feeling of being like, yes, it's ready to pop. That feeling, because that feeling, you know what's interesting? That feeling is not for a future event. That feeling is now, because your desire is now. So when you're feeling you're on the brink of something, you have struck vibrational harmony with that desire. So when you cause vibrational harmony, when you're in vibrational harmony with your desire, then the emotion is one of anticipation and excitement, then it's naturally that it follows. But we don't want it following to be the thing that you're looking for, because when it's the thing that you're looking for, then you get impatient, because you're like, well, where is it? It's a future event, and I'm waiting for the future event. I'm waiting for the result of it, because like, I need the result to believe it. But we're saying you have to believe it before you see it. You have to tell the story before it even changes. You can't look at reality and allow reality to tell you who you are. You have to know who you are. And you know what's funny? It's not arrogance. It's clarity. It's not arrogance. It's clarity. You are a star and you can't help it. Life has caused you to become everything. You are this amazing writer. You are this amazing singer. You are meant for great things, big things. You're meant to have a fortune that, maybe you're the first in your entire generation to have. Maybe you're going to be the living, walking, breathing example of abundance that people are going to aim and find inspiration from. Maybe that's you. And if that is you, then you're in the right spot, because here we believe that everyone is a star. Everyone is a star, because it's time for you to give into who you really are. You're a billionaire. Do you know you're literally a billionaire? But your billionaire-ness starts now. Your stardom starts now. Your fame, your fortune starts now. It's not tomorrow. It's not a future event. It's not until you see it. It's now. And when it's now, you have access to it emotionally. When you have access to it emotionally, you can begin telling that story about how it feels. First it's general, but then it starts to pick up steam. And you like, there's no confusion in this game, because you literally have emotions. You have emotions that will tell you what to do. So when you feel the negative emotion that's like, oh, I don't have any money, like, calibrate that. Be like, you know what, I do have money. Must have a lot of money, because my inner being, or else I would not feel negative emotion. And the fact that you feel negative emotion means that what you want is so much more real.